The Lakers just didn't look like themselves last night. Now, yes, the Thunder is more athletic than they are, younger than they are, run up and down the court. The Lakers didn't even get a fast break point. But the Thunder almost played a perfect game. They played their game to perfection. They hit pretty much every jumper they took, it felt like, okay? When Russell Westbrook is shooting 10 for 15 and most of that is coming on jumpers, that's what you want him to do. That's what you want him to settle for. He hit 10 of 15, a lot of those jumpers. That's not necessarily going to happen, okay? OKC led the league in turnovers this year, 16-plus turnovers. They had 4 last night. Now, granted, the Lakers aren't necessarily a team that forces turnovers. They're not very good at steals and everything else. But OKC normally creates its own mistakes, and they didn't do that last night. So the Lakers have reason to believe that that was sort of just the perfect game for OKC. But to me, a lot of this is going to fall directly on Mike Brown. And it's interesting that he had that sort of statement from Magic Johnson before that said if he wouldn't have gotten out of the first round, his job would be in jeopardy. Kobe basically called his coach out, I think, yesterday, saying, we need to find a way to make adjustments because we couldn't handle that pick and roll.
Off the floor the third
it's the simplest thing. Mike Brown is a defensive coach, okay? If you can't handle their pick and roll, if you're giving them basically anything they want in a pick and roll situation, then you've got a problem there in terms of the coaching, in terms of how they approach it, and how those players are handling it. He needs to fix that.
The second part is the big.
Fix that.
Well, but here's the thing. I know Kobe said, oh, we need to make adjustments. Guess what, dude? You can't make adjustments to the fact that you just simply don't have the team speed to keep up with Oklahoma City. And I do think that the Lakers will be able to win at least 2 games in this series. And don't look at me like I'm crazy. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I do. I think they're going to be able to win 2 games in this series. Look, Kobe should be good enough to get you 2. Kobe can't get you 2?
No, Kobe can't get you 2 by himself.
Yeah, he can get you 2.
No, he can't get. Who is
he's not going to go out. I don't think he wants to go out like they went out last year against the Mavericks.
What does that have to do with it?
That has everything to do with personal pride and respect have to play into this. You just can't get smoked by this.
If Kobe was going one-on-one with Durant or Westbrook, I may like his chances. They're getting swept. Look, I have no doubt.
That's just disrespectful, but
because they're the Lakers.
Yeah, because and not only that,
why they're entitled to winning games.
Their biggest advantage, or it should be their biggest advantage in this series, is Andrew Bynum and Paul Gasol.
We say that all the time.
I know we do, but this is how they have to win games, and you can't tell me for the rest of this series those 2 are basically going to be a non-factor.
No, especially if Kendrick Perkins. I mean, he left that game. He looked bad.
He was banged up.
He might not come back. That's when that hurts their depth up front.
Sure.
And, Nazr Mohammed, can he be a solid defender? Sure, but I don't know about for 4
And to Israel's point, you mean to tell me what Russell Westbrook, who we know has a tendency to play wild.
He was 3 of 22 the last time they met.
Thank you. Is he going to shoot 10 for 15 in all of these games? Jumper was wet last night. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of it.
When the best y'all could come up with is, well, they can't shoot like that all the time.
It's true.
They're one of the best shooting teams in the league. They're also one of the best free throw shooting teams in the league. So even if Russell Westbrook doesn't hit his jumper, he's still attacking the basket, and Bynum and Gasol ain't doing nothing about it. Here's the thing, Mr. Jamel Hill, because I read ESPN.com. You wrote a column talking about how, win or lose, the Lakers should move on from Andrew Bynum. Now you resting your hopes on Andrew Bynum showing up?
Why I
got to put you on blast?
Why you got to put me on blast, Mike? Okay.
Look, all I'm saying is, I
didn't pick them to win this series, though.
I'm giving them 2 games.
I'm giving them 2.
It's a sweep. You know why? The Lakers are fully capable of playing better. But bottom line is, they're not the better team. They're not in the same class as Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City lost 1 game to the Lakers this year when Metta World Peace decided to try to decapitate James Harden. Other than that, it was all blowouts. They can't keep up with this team in transition, even in the half court. You broke it down nicely. But you know what? Durant and Westbrook and Harden are too good at creating opportunities for other people besides themselves for the Lakers to keep up with them in terms of foot speed.
I'm sorry.
It's a sweep. It's going to happen.
Ramon Sessions, 2 points.
Meaningless.
Steve Blake just coming off a great game, hitting 5 threes in Game 7. Didn't show up, didn't do anything, probably didn't even take many shots. Now, you got to credit the Thunder defense for being able to do that. But the Lakers can find a way to make up for that athleticism. And like I said,
how they're going to be athletic.
Same thing they did with Denver. You slow the game down.
This ain't
you feed
Denver.
It inside.
You know this is.
I know Denver. It's not Denver, but it's a similar style. They're gonna try to run. You've got to keep them from running. I mean, 16-0 in fast break points is embarrassing. The Lakers need to either cut down their fast break points or
Their Lakers
find a way to create a couple
and that's the
turnovers
thing. They
here
don't
or
create
take a
turnovers,
run
they
off
don't
the missed
create easy
shots.
baskets. Everything is coming out of half court for them. That's the
Because
way
they
they're
made
built.
practically every jumper. And they just looked
But that's the
lazy
way
and
the
slow.
Lakers are
They
built.
looked like they had competition fatigue to me. It looked like they just came off a
Poor
seven-game
excuse,
series.
poor excuse.
Hey, it's an excuse, but that doesn't mean that things can't change from game 1 to game 2. You can see teams.
Okay.
Like
they won't lose by
They can
29. They won't lose by 29 again. I'll give you that. But they're going to
I
lose
still
the
think
series.
they have a shot in game 2 to recover if OKC doesn't shoot as well. Kobe Bryant plays a little bit more assertive, and Pau Gasol plays a little bit more assertive because he went from a great game to kind of a
Can I
passive
ask you,
game again.
that's the other thing that bothers me about this Lakers team. Maybe I'm just blinded by my general frustration with the team that's supposedly, for a championship caliber team, as we've been told they are. They certainly find a way to get blown out a lot. The Nuggets blew them out a couple of times, and then they get blown out in game 1. I understand they were coming off a rough series, but they're all professionals. Why do we constantly talk about intensity and focus and energy and dedication and running back on defense? Why? This is the playoffs, man. When are they going to decide to show up in the playoffs and play like they're capable of playing?
No, that's a good point.
I
I'm
don't
with
doubt
you.
that they're going to be better, but they're not in the same class with Oklahoma City in terms of talent.
They don't have the personalities in terms of having the hunger and just the desire that OKC
Kobe's
has.
the only
'Cause those
one
guys,
got that.
Right, those guys have some rings. Their main pieces have rings, so they don't feel it the same way the Thunder does. And obviously they're older. They need to play at their highest level to beat OKC, and I don't think it's the other way
I don't think
around.
it's enough.
But I think they're capable of doing that.